So before we begin, I just want to share that I am struggling with some allergies today. So I have my box of tissues, I have my mint oil and my humidifier, I have my tea. So I will just ask of you all that if you hear me sniffing or trying to quietly blow my nose, just allow that to be just another part of the sounds that, that we are experiencing today. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. So this is how life is. Things arise and we figure out a way through by taking care of ourselves and, compassionately letting the people around us know what's going on. So let's go ahead and get ourselves in a comfortable position. Thank you so much for all the well wishes. Finding ourselves in a comfortable position, whatever that means for you, either sitting or standing or lying down. Just listen to your body and see what feels good. Yes. And closing our eyes, either fully or partially, whatever again feels comfortable for you. And so that we remember not only to bring our awareness to our experience, but also to wrap our experience with a quality of tenderness and kindness, knowing that a soothing touch can be a really wonderful way for us to easily access that. So I invite you to place a hand or hands on your heart, gently cradling your face if that feels good, or giving yourself a little hug. And again, just listening to the wisdom of your body. And let's begin by just taking a moment to check in with ourselves. Check in with ourselves as far as where we are in this moment. Perhaps literally in this moment right now, or maybe just at this part of our journey. Just checking in with ourselves, almost the way we would check in with a dear loved one, which we are to ourselves. And just, how are you? How are you right now? And just see what comes up. And the practice of listening with that spacious heart, without needing to jump in to fix, just listening. Ah, yes. And maybe even checking in with ourselves to see where it might hurt right now. And touching on that as gently as we can. Reminding ourselves that we are compassionate with ourselves, not to try to feel better and ignore our experience, but we're compassionate with ourselves because we might be feeling pain, we might be suffering. And because suffering and pain are not the only aspects of our experience, maybe taking a moment just to check in and think about what is working well. If even just a reminder of what it is like to show up here, to show up to this practice. Our lives are a rich tapestry of things that are both painful and sorrowful, and things that are amazing and joyful. It's important to open our hearts to both, to see both, even though the pain is easier to notice. And given where you are in your journey at this time, perhaps checking in with yourself to see, what is it that you need right now? What would help you to feel supported and seen? And allow a word or words to bubble up. Perhaps in this moment you need some patience or health or some love. Just connect into what you need. And now I invite you on each in-breath to breathe in this good thing for yourself. Perhaps breathing in and allowing the word to float in on the breath. Or adding an image or a color, if that would really enhance your connection with receiving this thing that you need. Just breathing in this good thing on each breath, allowing it to float in and just fill every cell in your body. And perhaps if you notice any resistance to receiving this good thing, just tend to that with a little kindness as well. And allow this good thing to land as deeply or as fully as you are able at this moment, without any judgment. There's nothing you need to do at this moment, but just simply receive. allowing whatever you are breathing in, just allowing it to be true, giving yourself permission to receive it, even just in this moment. And if your mind wanders, which it tends to do, reminding ourselves that mindfulness is about noticing that and gently bringing it back to the breath, bringing it back to the word. As many times as you need to. And now releasing the practice and just sitting quietly and noticing how your body's feeling right now. And I offer up this quote that I read this morning by the poet Naomi Shihab Nye. I want to be famous in the way a pulley is famous, or a buttonhole. Not because it did anything spectacular, but because it never forgot what it could do. And I'll read that again. I want to be famous in the way a pulley is famous, or a buttonhole. Not because it did anything spectacular, but because it never forgot what it could do. And I offer this quote to you this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are joining us, because it reminds me of how so often we feel we need to do or be something spectacular in order to be worthy of love. And so I invite you to take this moment to be kind to this one here. And take a moment to try to see yourself, to not forget yourself. To not abandon yourself. and thinking about the thing that you identified that you need. Taking a moment to whisper into your own ear what you long to hear from others, and see if you can offer it to yourself. And if it's hard to find the words to offer to yourself, perhaps think about words that you have shared with others. Words of kindness that seem to flow a little easier towards another, and see if you might be able to include yourself in those words. And yet, if that still is hard, perhaps imagining receiving those words from somebody whose words you can trust, that you can receive. Finding the gentlest way in. And again, being kind to any resistance. And seeing if you can allow the words to be true, even if in just this moment. Allowing whatever feelings arise to be a guest that we treat honorably. As Rumi reminds us, they are guides from beyond. And just taking one more moment knowing that you can return back to these words any time and as many times as you need. Now releasing the practice and just sitting quietly in your body. Just paying attention to the gentle movement of your breath. And I offer you just another poem by Mary Oliver called The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean the one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Now I invite you once again to reconnect back into that thing that you needed, that you were breathing in. And let's connect back into that practice. And once again, begin breathing in this good thing that you need. And recognizing that all of the beings in this world, all of the beings here gathered together to create community, we all need peace and love, patience and health, compassion. And so I invite you, breathe in this good thing for yourself. And on an exhale, imagine sending that good thing also out to the world. Or perhaps there's somebody who's weighing heavily on your heart, and bring them to mind. And imagine on the exhale sending something good to them. Just noticing where you are and what would feel good right now to do. Breathing in for you and out for the other. One for me and one for you. Allowing your breath to just create an ocean of compassion. Allowing you to receive in and to give out. Allowing the flow to be as easy as the ocean. Staying with one point of focus on your exhale as long as you need, and shifting and changing if there's someplace else that you'd like to send something good. Just listening to your own heart, allowing yourself to be guided by its wisdom. Reminding yourself that you cannot give out if you're not also receiving in. Taking care of ourselves is an act of radical generosity to those around us. You cannot exhale without also inhaling. Breathing in for you, exhaling for the other. And now taking a few more breaths here. And once again, releasing the practice and just sitting quietly in your body. Just noticing whatever is arising without any judgment. Our self-compassion practices increase our capacity to let it all in. And now, given the wisdom that you have connected with in our practice today, I invite you to take a moment to perhaps connect into an intention that you'd like to carry from this practice into the rest of your day moving forward, or your evening. Perhaps an intention to guide you with what will you do with this one wild and precious life. And now taking a few deep breaths at your own pace. And slowly, slowly coming back to the community. Maybe even giving your body a little movement or a little stretch. If it's been sitting in one place for a little while. Mm. Mm. So thank you for participating in the practice today, for being here to create community.